Livestock and Homemaker Show, Market Lamb Division. We're going to have a good lamb show today. To get started this morning, before we bring animals into the ring, we are going to have Mr. Cooper Clain sing the national anthem. If you'll please stand. The American flag is hanging right in the center from the ceiling.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good job. Yes, thank you.
Very good job. Thank you.
Cooper, good job.
Thanks, sir.
Absolutely. Montana, Eric, do you want to hold this? Just leave it here? He said he wants to leave it here. So we'll just leave that there for
I'm
him.
gonna take off a few layers because I feel like I look a little ridiculous right now.
No, because it's cold.
I know I was getting dressed this morning. I was like, how ridiculous am I gonna be? Well, I'm wearing a long sleeve.
Right, we are starting with Class 1 lightweight Southdowns. We do have 3 entries in this class from 91 pounds to 112 pounds. If Class 2 Southdowns would please get ready in the staging area. Class 2 Southdowns.
Testing. Really nice, cool morning. Glad to be here to evaluate your market lands. Really nice set of Southdowns here to start our show off with. I think when you take a look at this class, you've got three varying types of individuals, but certainly one that wins this class is just a bit more complete, certainly more powerful. One that's opened up just a bit better in terms of the way he's made. One that's just dominant in terms of shape. In terms of his stifle, you put your hands on him. He's got plenty of rack shape. That first time we put my hands on him, he was a little softer, but the young man got him driving and firmed him up quite a bit. He's correct in his condition. He's good in his lines. He travels with some base width. I like him really nicely to win that class. Real interesting kind of individual in the second. This ewe lamb's long bodied. She's really clean up through her front. Really nice in terms of the way her shoulder blends in. Just a bit better up through that front third than what we see in our class winner. But one that just doesn't have quite the definition of top bulls in that loin. Just a little bit more, a little flatter in terms of overall definition of muscle in the middle and lower portion of that leg. Has a tendency just to get a little higher flanked relative to that forerib. Doesn't balance up quite as well, but certainly one that's elevated and long bodied, and I like that about her. A little greener kind of ewe lamb around the class off with, one that to me, again, extended up through her front as well. She's probably the best fronted sheep of the top three, but certainly one that just doesn't have quite the muscle and shape. She wants to get it just a bit rounder out her hip, maybe a little bit higher in terms of her twist. A little greener handle, but certainly one that's got a lot of quality, and I like the way she appears from the side. Nice competitive class. Let's give these three exhibitors a round of applause. Good job.
Class 1 Southdowns. First place, Jackson Missildine. Second place, Caleb Anderson. And third place, Emery Bertling. All right, about to bring Class 2 Southdowns in, 121 pounds to 127 pounds. There'll be 3 places out of the 4 entries in this class. Class 2 Southdowns coming into the ring. Will Class 3 Southdowns please come to the staging area? Class 3 Southdowns to the staging area.
All right, we're going to swing out and park them head first. Swing out, park them head first.
Just also a quick announcement. There, we have 2 vehicles that are blocking the west end of the hog barn where they're trying to move animals around. Looks like a pearl white CRV license plate RZL 1776 and a GMC Acadia or Terrain that is a license plate PRD 3816. If that is your vehicle or you know whose vehicle that is, will you please move it? Thank you.
Again, these middleweights, a lot of quality, first through fourth, a lot of decisions to be made. For one, in relation to our class winner, I think this is the one that's the unique one. This is the one that's just more modern. Certainly a one that's just up fronted and cool. Really long body. This is a one that's exceptional in terms of his shoulder and blade placement. Remainder as compared to the remainder of the class. One, I love him in terms of his eye appeal and his balance. Again, you put your hands on this sheep. He's got plenty of muscle. He's got enough muscle for me today. He's grooved up in his top. He's good in his loin. Really exceptional in terms of his hip design. I like that pin placement. Again, one that's maybe not the most powerful sheep in the class, but for his body frame and size and his design, he fits it quite well. I think I really like him to win this class. He moves about the arena really nicely as well. Real powerful sheep in second. I guess you just want muscle, you're going to use this sheep. But to me, this is one, this rounder made on both ends. He's just a bit bolder in terms of the point of his shoulder and his blade. He's the one that's just a little bit rounder at his hip. Big old top, huge top, big rack. Good loin, big old hip in him as well in terms of that mass, that middle and lower portion of his leg. Just not near as cool, not near as modern, not near as long a body as what we see in our class winner, but certainly one that's got chock full of muscle. Interesting kind of sheep in third. This is the one that maybe plays out just a bit in terms of his touch and handle, just not near as deep in terms of his depth of loin. It's a little softer to the touch. Got plenty of rack shape, but you put your hands on him with that hip point junction. He wants to roll just a bit. He's a little flatter in terms of his stifle. Maybe has, again, one that's just a little bit different in terms of his front third as compared to his hind end as well. But one that, to me, he's got plenty of muscle on him to put him in that third place hole. Again, a long-bodied, up-fronted kind of sheep to round the class out with. He's just a bit more narrow-made than what we see in first, second, and third. He's the one that tapers towards his tail head just a bit more than what we'd like to see, but certainly one that's got some eye appeal from the side. Real competitive class. Nice duo up on the top end. Really modern one to win the class. Good job.
Class 2, Southdowns, first place, Avery Cisak, Navarro FFA. Second place, Mallory Box, Clemens, 4H. Third place, Peyton Cisak, Navarro FFA. And fourth place, Harper Shaw, New Berlin, 4H. All right, we're about to have Class 3 Southdowns come in the ring. There are three entries in this class. Be placing 2. No first and second places are held back for the champion drive, but we need to be thinking about Class 5 Fine Wolves coming to the staging area. Class 5 Fine Wolves need to be getting ready to come to the staging area.
think this class sorts itself out pretty easily. The young lady's weather is just, again, one that's just really firm to its handle and touch. He's really good in terms of his condition. He excels the class in terms of eye appeal and length of body, in terms of extension. He gets up off the ground. He's stout made from the ground up. Really good in terms of his rib. He really shoved up through his chest floor and clean to that front end. I like how he travels with some fluidness around the arena. One that, again, as I said, you put your hands on him. He's big in his top. He's really flat back. One that's got a big old leg in him as well. He's exceptional in terms of his pin set, firm handle, big top, big leg. Wins the class in my mind real easily. Little softer handling, sheep in second. Again, the one to me is a little bit wastier up through his front end. To me, it gets maybe a little bit rounder out his hip, but I guess if you really want to get critical with him and want to firm him up just a bit more, to me, he's just handling just a nickel too soft when you compare him to our class winner. Just a bit shorter-sided when you compare him to class winner, but a lot of product on his skeleton. Long-bodied dude in third. I tell you, this is a long-bodied individual, measures extremely well, proportions extremely well from his 13th rib back. To me, he has a tendency to get just a little easy top. He's another one that wants to handle a little softer. He gets a little bit deeper through his full rib, so he doesn't balance up quite as well and maybe get uphill just a bit more. And he's the one that maybe wants to taper towards his tail head and out his dock just a bit, but certainly one in terms of his length of body is exceptional. Nice trio here. Let's give these three kids a round of applause for a nice heavyweight class.
Class 3 Southdowns. First place, Lottie Owen, New Berlin 4-H. Second place, Colson Owen, New Berlin 4-H. And third place, Keely Bertling, Kingsbury 4-H. Right, we're going to bring the first and second place Southdowns from Class 1, 2, and 3 back out to pick a breed champion and reserve breed champion. So Class 5 Fine Wolves, please come to the staging area. Class 5 Fine Wolves to the staging area.
It's a nice set of Southdowns. Not a big show in our breed here, but it's a lot of quality. A really nice set from each individual class, from lights to heavies. Who had 3 and then 4, then 3, and some really nice ones that were even down the line here. Congratulations to these 6 young people. I think they've got some really nice ones when you talk about those ones that moved to the front of the line in their individual classes. They were just a bit better in terms of their design. They were certainly better in terms of their handle. They had some natural base width as they traveled away from you. They were really good enough up to their front third as well. For me, I guess you start taking a look at what fits me really well, and people know this. My twins, we showed a lot of these kind of guys, and they loved them to death. And so, we saw a lot of them, and there's a couple out here in my mind, if you really take a look at them and evaluate them for what they are, they're modern, they're long, They're really firm to the touch. They're really cool as they travel. To me, they're exceptional. There's one just a bit more dominant today in terms of overall power. And one that's, again, is really cool to look at. Just gives up a little bit, but certainly a nice duo in your champion and reserve champion role. Let's give these kids a round of applause. The heavyweight is going to be your champion. Congratulations to this young lady. And that middleweight is going to be your reserve champion. Congratulations to this young lady. Good job.
Oh, champion Southdown, Lottie Owen, New Berlin 4H, and reserve champion Southdown, Avery Cisak, Navarro FFA.
A lot of differences out here in this fine wool class. I think for me, the one that wins the class is the most complete. We talked about the Southdowns being modern and clean and up-fronted, and this one fits the bill. Really good in terms of his forerib and flank, one that you put your hands on him. He's just a bit better down his top line. To me, I think he's just a bit better as he travels about the arena. To me, he's stout enough from the ground up. I like his elevation. I like his length of body. I like his pin set and his hip design. to win the class. The challenge between the next couple is to take a look at these, and we got this young lady just to leave that lamb to sit and let him look good like that and start fighting her, and that's where he looks the best. Again, I think he's just a bit better in terms of his handle. I think he's just a bit more dominant down his top line as compared to our third place sheep. For me, he's just a little bit better up to his blade. One, to me, he's just got a bit more definition of stifle. For me, again, one that I think fits nicely. I like him in terms of his hip as well. I think he needs to be in that second place hole. Young lady's lamb in third. He's a really driver. He's one of those that likes to drive a lot, and he really gets into her. And when he does that, he handles with some firmness. Maybe not quite as nice in terms of his depth of loin. He's the one that wants to get a little bit rounder out his hip and a little flatter his stifle. He's the one, as he travels around the arena too, he wants to get a little bit more down-fronted relative to first and second. I could tighten his height up a little bit, but certainly one that's got some shape down this top, and I appreciate that about him. Competitive lightweight fine wool class. So congratulations to these three young ladies. Good job.
Class 5, Fine Wools. First place, Savannah Klein, Marion FFA. Second place, Kyler McClendon, Marion FFA. Third place, Ella Lott, Marion FFA. Right, Class 6, Fine Wools. We do have 4 entries in this class from 135 pounds to 153 pounds. There'll be 3 places in this class. Exhibitors, don't forget, if you do intend on entering your project into the sale, you will need to take a picture with your animal and fill out the white sale card that is given to you with your ribbon before leaving today. Don't forget, if you want to enter the sale, to fill out your white sale card and take a picture today.
It's a really nice duo up here in this class into the first and second hole. Really good handling sheep, tight-hided, correct in their condition. The one that wins the class, though, he does really easy. He's a really up-fronted, just a really cool-looking one. He's good in his lines. He's good in his shoulder. To me, he's really nice in terms of his tone down his top line. Ties in extremely well. His hip-bone junction, one that's got plenty of muscle on his skeleton. I love him how he just runs up-fronted, runs uphill, and balances up really nicely. Good in his shoulder. He wins the class real easily. Another thin-hided, firmer handling sheep in second. A little bit plainer up through his front third when you compare him to our class winner. One that proportions extremely well. I like him in terms of his thin hide and his touch. Doesn't have quite the shape down his top line is what we see in our class winner, but that's getting critical because that's a really nice sheep in his own right. A little challenge here between the next couple here. I think we elect to go with the one that's just a little bit better in terms of the way he appears from the side, one that gets up off the ground in that third place hole just a little bit better. I wish he had more definition, was grooved up down his top just a bit more than what we see, but certainly one in terms of length of body, in terms of his elevation, really nice one. I like him in terms of his height, just a little bit better in our fourth place sheep, and I like him certainly in terms of his condition. Fourth place lamb, again, this is just a power sheep, chock full of muscle as well. Again, one is big in terms of his stifle. He's got some shape down his top, but he's a little thicker hided, a little softer handling, and certainly one that's got the most condition on him. I'd like to clean him up over his ribs just a bit and firm him up. If we do that, I think we make him more competitive. Nice quartet out here in this fine wool division. Let's give these four young ladies a round of applause. Good job.
Class 6, Fine Wools. First place, Abigail Owen, New Berlin 4-H. Second place, Keely McClendon, Marion FFA. Third place, Madeline Hughes, Steele FFA. And fourth place, Chloe Mays, Clemens FFA. All right, we're going to bring first and second place Fine Wools back into the ring to pick a champion Fine Wool and reserve champion Fine Wool from Class 5 and 6. If Class 8 Fine Wool crosses will please get ready and come to the staging area. Class 8 Fine Wool crosses to the staging area.
Once again, a nice set of Fine Wools in our champion drive. Obviously, only two classes, but I think when you take a look at the ones in the front line, they're just so much better. relative to their contemporaries down the line in second and third and even fourth place. For me, a really nice high-quality set. The second place is, again, some good things about them, maybe not quite as nice and dominant, not quite as eye-appealing, but they got beat by some good ones up there in the top end of those individual weight classes. For me, it gets down to a champion that's extremely easy to find and use. This is one that's extremely nice. It gets a little closer in terms of your reserve role, but one I think just a little bit better in his handle touch, one just a bit better in terms of his hip is going to be our reserve champion. So let's give this young lady out of the heavyweight division a round of applause. That's going to be your champion. Congratulations to her. A really nice sheep. Again, as I said, it was close. We elect to use the second place out of the heavyweight for the reserve champion. Congratulations to her. Good job.
Champion Fine Wool comes out of Class 6. Abigail Owen, New Berlin 4-H. And reserve champion Fine Wool, also out of Class 6. Keely McClendon, Marion FFA. All right, we do have Class 8 Fine Wool crosses about to come into the ring. There are 4 entries in this class from 104 pounds to 132 pounds. If Class 9 Fine Wool crosses will please get ready and come to the staging area. Class 9 Fine Wool crosses to the staging area. Do want to take just a moment to introduce our judge today while we have a minute. We also want to thank Eric Zimmerman for coming in to judge the Lamb Show today. Eric Zimmerman is the District Extension Administrator for the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service in College Station. He served as the County Extension Agent in Tom Green, Llano, Grimes, and Brazos counties. He is a native of Menard and received his Bachelor of Science and Master of Science degrees from Texas A&M University in the Department of Rangeland Ecology and Management. He has judged over 400 lamb and goat shows throughout the U.S. Eric is married to his wife, Stephanie, and they have 22-year-old twins, Jackson and Ramsey, who exhibited lambs and goats during their 4-H career. They are currently seniors at Texas A&M University. Let's give a big round of applause for Eric coming to judge today. All right, this is Class 8 that just came in the ring. Fine wool crosses, 4 entries. If Class 9 fine wool crosses will please come to the staging area. Class 9, please come to the staging area.
It's a nice fine wool cross to win this class. He's built better. He's designed better. He's just handles better. One that is really, really good down his top line. He's, again, one that runs uphill, long-fronted, one that balances up extremely nice. You get to him and take a look at him in that three-quarter view. He's explosive in that upper hip. One that's big-footed and one that's really, really nice to the touch. I like his hip design. I love him on his dock as well. The young lady sheep in second. This is where he looks the best. When you get him propped up there, this ewe lamb is nice. She's long-bodied. She's good enough in her lines. Maybe not quite as cool through her front third as what we see in our class winner, but certainly one that's got some shape down her top. I guess if you're really going to get picky on her, when she gets out around the arena, she wants to get a little bit choppier in the way her gait is, wants to get her hind legs underneath her, maybe change her in terms of the way it appears in that dock just a little bit. It really appears that she's tapers towards her tailhead a bit more. She's good enough in her upper hip. I just like to change her right there, but a really nice handling sheep with a big top in her. Green, dude in the third place hole. This one's built right. He just doesn't have enough on him today. He gets a little bit lighter in terms of his definition of muscle. He gets a little bit, rolls a little bit in terms of his loin in relation to what we see in first and second, but I like him in terms of his elevation and his length of body. Real balanced sheep to round the class out with. Again, this ewe lamb is up-fronted, long body. She's good in her flank and good in her forearm. She's the one that's a bit more base narrow and a little bit lighter in her overall muscle design on her skeleton relative to the ones ahead of her. But I think she's got a lot of good days ahead of her. Really competitive class, nice class winner. Congratulations to these 4 exhibitors.
Class 8 fine wool crosses. First place, Maxwell Minchow, New Berlin 4-H. Second place, Madeline Hughes, Steel FFA. Third place, Savannah Klein, Marion FFA. And fourth place, Riley Green, Navarro 4-H. All right, we're going to be bringing in Class 9 fine wool crosses. There are 5 entries in this class from 140 pounds to 161 pounds.
Well, it's a challenging class. There's lots of differences from first all the way through fifth, different types, different designs, different touch, and different handle. For me, I think when you take a look at the whether that wins the class, he's the one that's the most complete. He's got the most good about him relative to his contemporaries down the line. Long-bodied, up-fronted. Again, he's the big top sheep. Again, one that's just a little bit fuller in his loin, a little bit fuller in his leg. When you combine that with the way he moves about the arena, he moves a little bit better. He's less piecier as he travels. To me, I think he's got more good components about him in terms of the way he's designed on the travel and up to the brace here to win the class. Young lady sheep in second. Big old top dude as well. A little furler made from the ground up. This is the one I like him in terms of his condition. I like him in terms of his handle. For me, I like him in terms of his power in the middle lower portion of his leg. Enough relative to his frame size. He just gets a little piecier as he travels. He's a little bolder through that shoulder and that blade. He wants to get his feet underneath him a little bit. It doesn't travel quite as smoothly, and as fluid is what we see in our class runner. A lot of product here, and that's where he sells our third place sheep. This is a long-bodied, neat, cool-looking one as well. This is the one that has the less definition of top shape. He's certainly a little bit rawer in terms of his loin. You can feel that spine as you put your hands on him. Wants to taper towards his tail, hit a bit more long-bodied and elevated. I do like that about him. Young lady's sheep in fourth. He went around somewhere. He's the one that, again, is designed good enough, but he's heavier conditioned. We got to clean him up over his ribs, frame him up, and I think we do that to make him more competitive. A little quicker made, really powerful sheep in the fifth place hole. A little shorter up to his front end, but certainly one that's got a big hip. I like to elevate him up off the ground, get a little bit of that middle out of her, and certainly clean her up over her ribs. We do that, we make her more competitive. Nice 5 sheep out here. Really competitive class. Congratulations to these exhibitors. Good job. Good job.
All right, Class 9 Fine Wool Crosses. First place, Taylor Grimm, Shooting Sports, 4-H. Second place, Abigail Shearer, Steel FFA. Third place, Jada Bloom, Navarro FFA. Fourth place, Maley McClendon, Marion FFA. And fifth place, Catherine Sassi, Steel FFA. All right, we do have first and second place. Fine Wool Crosses coming back from Class 8 and Class 9 to choose a champion Fine Wool Cross and a reserve champion Fine Wool Cross. Class 11, Hair Sheep, Dorpers need to be getting ready, coming to the staging area. Class 11, come to the staging area.
Really nice set of fine wool crosses out here. Really, four that have got some quality. They certainly have plenty of power. For me, in relation to what they brought to the table to the remaining of the class. Again, I think you take a look at the four out here in consideration for a champion reserve. One that to me, again, it's just he's built right. He's one that looks like a show sheep. He's the one that handles like a show sheep. He's the one that's just stout from the ground up. He's good in the middle portion of his body. And then, to me, again, you put your hands on him, he's really good. The one that was in the reserve role, I probably was a little more critical on that sheep than I probably should have been, especially when you take a look at the remainder of the class for this reserve role. This one's got a big top, and then, again, as this sheep travels in a really good pace, he changes his gait, and it makes him look even better, and that's why we're going to use him to be in that reserve role. Again, nice final cross show. Young man out of the lightweights. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations. That's your champion. Congratulations. Good job. And young lady, this is second. That's going to be your reserve champion. Congratulations.
Champion Fine Wool Cross comes out of Class 8, Maxwell Minchow, New Berlin 4-H. And reserve champion final cross, also from Class 8, Madeline Hughes, Steel FFA. All right, we do have 2 classes of hair sheep. Dorpers are about to come in the ring. This is Class 11. There are 4 entries. 3 will place. Their weight's 90 pounds to 117 pounds.
Nice competitive set of hair sheep. The 2 that work their way to the top, they do so real quickly because they're just so powerful and really handle great. The one that the ewe lamb that wins the class, the white pelted, white headed female, is the one that's just a bit better in her design. She's a bit better in her shoulders. She's certainly a little bit better as she moves about the arena. When you put your hands on her, she's really grooved up down her top. Just that transition between that loin and hip is exceptional. She's super powerful in her stifle. When you move her away from you, she's really natural in the way she keeps that base width when she travels. To me, a really good rib, good center body, one that's really nice to look at. I like her through her front third. Real powerful sheep in second as well. Maybe not quite as nice in terms of length of body. A little bit different in terms of that shoulder and blade relative to that class winner, but certainly one that's got plenty of top shape as well. A big old powerful groove down that top line. I like that. Maybe not quite as deep and powerful in the middle and lower portion of her leg, but certainly one that I think you gotta put her in that second place hole, especially when you compare her handle to our third place sheep. This is a long bodied one that, again, really exceptional. This is the one that's got a bit more point to her shoulder as well. Wants to get a little easier at his top. He probably rolls his loin just a bit, handles just a little bit softer, doesn't have near the shape, but certainly one that's got the length of body, and I like that. The little green one, then to round out the class. Again, this one's just got a little bit of time that needs to be on the feet to kind of power him up just a bit more. Maybe change that neck placement. She wants to get her neck out just a little bit and doesn't want to really travel quite as nicely. But a lot of the good things about this in terms of this sheep's lines, and you have to appreciate that. Nice competitive class here. Good job to all these exhibitors.
All right, Class 11, Dorper's first place, Shiloh Purdom, Navarro FFA. Second place, Caleb Anderson, McQueenie 4-H. Third place, McKenna Kelm, Navarro 4-H. And fourth place, Peyton Pape, Seguin FFA. Right, Class 12, Hershey Dorpers are coming into the ring. We do have 4 entries in this class. 3 will place, weights from 123 pounds to 151 pounds. Class 14, medium moles, please come to the staging area. Class 14, medium moles, please come to the staging area.
This first and second, I think, are probably the most polar opposite duo in the top end of the class that we've seen today. But I think when you compare them to what the remainder of the class brings, they fit nicely in first and second. The one that's just powerful and dominant, one is the bigger hip one, one that's good in his lines is the class winner. He's not the most elevated up through his front third when you compare him to the second place sheep. He's not the cleanest up through his chest forward when you compare him to second, but he's got a good enough appearance from the side. Certainly a really big handle, a big hip. I like him to win the class. Really cool looking dude in the second place hole. Lightest sheep in the class, right? The greenest one in the class. But when you put your hands on him, this one's really good in terms of his condition. He's really good in terms of his shape. To me, again, one that's really long bodied. I love him in terms of the way he's extended up to his front. shoved up to his chest floor. He's good in his lines as well. This doesn't have quite the power of what we see in our class winner. This rolls just a little bit in his loin, a little bit less dimensional at his hip, but he's really cool to look at. Little piece here, kind of sheep in the third place hole. There's a lot of product in the skeleton. He's just real loose as he travels away from you. Those blades kind of get just a bit longer. He's a little bit bold through his point of his shoulder. Wants to get up in his flank just a bit more. Doesn't balance up quite as well, but plenty of muscle, lots of muscle. And I think he's a little bit better in terms of his touch, in terms of his firmness. You compare him to the class fourth place sheep in this class. There's another one that's chock full of muscle, but certainly one that's a little shorter fronted, a little thicker neck. To me, a little bit lower profile, but one that's just a little bit heavier condition, thicker hide, has a tendency to handle a bit softer. Nice competitive class, really nice and competitive heavyweight group here. Let's give these young ladies a round of applause. Good job.
Class 12, Dorper's first place, Ava Delgado, Clemens, FFA. Second place, Brooke Clements, Seguin, FFA. Third place, Maylee McClendon, Marion, FFA. And fourth place, McKenna Kelm, Navarro 4-H. All right, we are bringing back the first and second place from Class 11 and 12 hair sheep or Dorpers. Choose a breed champion and reserve breed champion. Class 14 medium bulls, you should be in the staging area. Class 14 medium bulls should be in the staging area.
Congratulations to our four in this champion division of this hair sheep. A really nice set. These four sheep really are really good handling, and they're really correct in their condition. I think they're more eye-appealing from the side than what we saw maybe in third and fourth place in their individual classes. For me, I think there's one that's more complete, one that's a bit better up to that front third and really nice. And the way the sheep travels is exceptional as well. That's going to be your champion. It gets a little closer, but I think the one that we need to use for our reserve role is just a bit more opened up, just a little bit more powerful out his hip, just a bit more natural in his base width, and that'll be your reserve. The young lady out of the class 1 here, that's your champion with this white felted ewe lamb. Congratulations to her. This is going to be your reserve. Congratulations to her as well. Good job.
Right. Champion Dorper is Shiloh Purdom, Navarro FFA. Reserve champion Dorper is Ava Delgado, Clemens FFA. All right, Class 14 medium bulls coming into the ring. There are 6 entries from 96 pounds to 115 pounds. Class 15 medium bulls, please prepare to come to the staging area. Class 15 medium bulls to the staging area. Exhibitors, once again, just a friendly reminder, if you do plan on entering your project into the sale for Saturday, you do need to take a picture today before you leave, as well as fill out the white sale card that is given to you with your ribbon. You can turn that in to us or up at the office by the restrooms.
nice lightweight medium class. I really like this ewe. I think you talk about her in winning this class. She's the right kind in terms of her body. She's the right kind in terms of her size. She's really a really firm handling, really good, tighted kind of individual. She's so powerful down her top. She's so full in terms of her loin. She's good in terms of her lines. When you get her on the move, she's just so fluid when she travels. I love how that neck comes out of the shoulders. She blends quite nicely. She's good in terms of her blade. Stout from the ground up. Really nice one to win the class at 115 or so pounds. You get down to, and then you take a look at this sheep. It's 102. We're giving up about 12, 13, 14 pounds. This sheep's built right. It was hard to get a good handle on this dude. He's built right. He's stout made. He's really big-footed. He's big in his hip as well. He's just not as big enough sheep as what we see in our class winner. I like him in terms of his design. He's not quite as long-fronted as what we see in first place, but he's long enough. When you combine that touch and that handle and that design, as he Cadillacs around the arena, he excels. I like him in terms of his shoulder. I like him in terms of his flank, and that's where he excels, his third-place sheep. The big top sheep. This is a really powerful sheep. Good rack, big loin, big hip as well. Has a tendency to get just a little higher flank. Doesn't look near as cool from the side. Got a bit more of a point to his shoulder relative to the first and second. To me, he's just a little bit different, a little bit frailer made from the ground up. So I'd like to drop his rear flank just a bit. And I think if you put just a little bit more condition on him, he's going to get a little bit more flank, a little more drop in that flank. Maybe even smooth him up a little bit and maybe take a little bit of that shoulder away. I like the power down his top. It just doesn't quite not fit me in terms of his overall design. We went back and forth with these two, just a little bit better handling sheep, a little bit fresher sheep in the fourth place hole. One that to me just a little bit bigger in terms of her hip, a little bit different kind of sheep in the fifth place hole in terms of her forerib relative to her flank. Again, to me, one that have quite the definition of shape down her top. Then we get into the greenest sheep in the class. This one's built right. Good in her rib, good in her lines, good in her flank. She's just not quite there in terms of the muscle expression and skeleton as compared to the ones ahead of them. Let's give these kids a round of applause. This is a really competitive lightweight medium wool class.
Class 14, medium moles. First place, Parker Missildine, Marion FFA. Second place, Parker Missildine, Marion FFA. Third place, Jackson Missildine, Marion FFA. Fourth place, Nora Botting, Navarro 4H. Fifth place, Riley Green, Navarro 4H. And sixth place, Skylar McClendon, Marion FFA. Right, next we have Class 15 medium moles. There are 7 entries. We'll place 5. The weights are 122 to 130 pounds. Class 16 medium moles, if you'll get ready and come to the staging area. Class 16 medium moles to the staging area. Randall.
It's a nice class. I really wanted to, took a look at as they moved and then, really making some decisions. And for me, the winner is winning the class real easily. I just wanted to see this ewe that was in that second place hole move again, see how she traveled in relation to what we had seen before that. And she's really good. Class winner, big top, big rack, huge loin, fresh to the touch, good rib. Really, to me, things that are really good about her. Long fronted, measures well, good hip, wins the class real easily. Young lady, you got a nice one there. This is another good body, long bodied, good rib sheep. One that maybe doesn't have quite the power of what we see in that number one hole, but I like her length of body. I like the way her neck comes out of her blade. To me, I like her stoutness from the ground up. For me, maybe not quite as powerful right here in that loins, what we see in the first place hole, but she's good enough and combines that with those other aspects to be in that second place hole. It's a nice sheep here. This sheep excels our fourth place sheep, fresher to the touch, a little bit better in loin. To me, you want to change her maybe up through her front third and her shoulder and blade, but certainly one that's really fresh. I like that about her. A little greener kind of handling sheep in the fourth place hole, super thin hided, really nice in terms of her rack, wants to roll in his loin. Good hipped as well, really elevated, long-bodied, one that's really up-fronted as well, plays out in terms of power relative to his skeleton, probably the greenest one of our top 4 or top 5, so I think there's lots of good days ahead of him, a little softer hand and blue sheep, long-bodied as well, good enough right through here, it just doesn't have that freshness to the loins, what we see in the ones ahead of him, a little bit flatter in terms of stifle, a little bit higher in terms of twist, a little bit softer handling, one that again doesn't have quite the definition of tops around the class out with, extended and long body, just need more product in the skeleton to make that sheep more competitive. Really nice set here, outstanding class winner. Let's give them all a round of applause. Good job.
Class 15 medium moles. First place, Lottie Owen, New Berlin 4-H. Second place, Hadley Pearson, Kingsbury 4-H. Third place, Emery Bertling, Kingsbury 4-H. Fourth place, Keelan McClendon, Marion FFA. Fifth place, Caden Fleming Rains, Seguin FFA. Sixth place, Lucy Botting, Navarro 4-H. And seventh place, Nora Botting, Navarro 4-H. Right, Class 16 medium moles coming into the arena. We do have 6 entries in this class from 132 pounds to 141 pounds. We place five places. Class 17 medium moles, please come to the staging area. Class 17 medium moles to the staging area. If anybody is sitting here thinking it's noontime and you're hungry, we do have concession stand open, has hamburgers, some food. I believe it is the KC Hall or Knights of Columbus, and a few other organizations that are helping out. So it does go to a good cause. So if you are hungry, concession stands are open.
It was a very competitive class. This is a nice duo, really nice trio up here. The one that wins the class, this white pelted dude, is fits the part. He's so stout and he's so good handling. Again, one that's long enough bodied. Again, one that when you really take a look at him, he's stouter down his top line. He's more definitive in terms of his shape. He's certainly firmer to the handle in terms of his loin. He's more explosive in terms of his stifle, certainly deeper twisted. He's stout from the ground up. He's not the longest body one in here, but he's long enough, and he's got a good rib to him. He's got a good elevation. He travels with really good base width. He's really stout down his top line. I really like that in terms of the stoutness of top line and his touch, and that's why he wins your class. The Blue Sheep, again, big hip, big old rack as well. Softer handling, one that wants just to get a little bit shallower in terms of definition and depth of loin. We compare him to our class winner. Wants to get a little easier in his top. He wants to get a little bit lazy. He'd like to get that top up. Certainly not near as powerful in terms of hip, in terms of power, in terms of stifle, in terms of twist, but certainly one in terms of stoutness from the ground up and length of body and rib. He's really nice as well. Just like it changes handle and maybe straightening him up down his top line. Really green handling sheep in third. This is a really cool rib, shallow rib guy. Again, one that to me, when you put your hands on him, he's really good right through here over his rack, but one that gets a little bit rounder in terms of his loin, just doesn't have quite the power down his top line is what we see in first and second. Again, to me, I think he's probably a little bit greener than what we see in first and second. Lots of good days ahead of him because he's certainly long body. When you probably put a little bit more condition on him, it's going to bring his flank down a bit more. It's going to freshen him up in his loin. Real tall handling, real tall appearing sheep in the fourth place hole. Again, a little piecier in his overall handle. I think he's a bit better in terms of his pin placement when you compare him to fifth and sixth. One in fifth place, a bit more stout from the ground up. Certainly got some rib to him and got some shape down his top. To me, it doesn't have quite the power is what we see in design is what we see in first, second, and third, fourth. You can get into a frailer made one from the ground up, a little lighter bone kind of sheep, maybe one that just a little bit flatter in terms of stifle, but one that measures extremely well and is elevated up to his front third. Nice set of sheep here, really nice duo up on the top end. Congratulations to these exhibitors. Good job.
Class 16, medium wools. Sixth place, Olivia DeMuse, Seguin FFA. Fifth place, Jada Bloom, Navarro FFA. Fourth place, Keely Bertling, Kingsbury 4-H. Third place, Case Pearson, Kingsbury 4-H. Second place, Maxwell Minchow, New Berlin 4-H. And winning class 16, medium wools, Avery Cisak, Navarro FFA. All right, we do have class 17 medium wools coming into the ring. There are 5 entries in this class, 143 to 149 pounds. Class 18 medium wools, please come to the staging area. Class 18 medium wools to the staging area.
It's a nice one here again to lead this class off with. Little cleaner, a little more modern, a little bit better up to his front and shoulder. You put your hands on the sheep, extremely fresh. Really, really firm handling, but yet still fresh. Big hip, big stifle. Just to me, really runs uphill. That neck comes out of the blades exceptionally well. He's long fronted, he's clean, he's good in his rib, he's good in his flank. And then you put your hands on him, he's extremely correct in his condition relative to his frame size, smooth and fresh down his top. I like him to win the class. A little bit better fronted sheep in second than our third place sheep, one that's got plenty of top shape, maybe not as dimensionalized hip as what we see in first place, but certainly one that's a little bit better on the move and travel when you compare him to the third place sheep. I like his handle and touch. I like him to his appearance from the side, and I like his rib design and his middle portion of his body. A little coarser made front, little coarser shouldered sheep in the third place hole. A lot of power down his top line. He's the one that gets a little looser as he travels away from you. Doesn't hold together quite as well. We get into this next sheep, the final cross-looking kind of sheep. Again, to me, he's just a little bit shorter made. He's the rounder made one on both ends. He's certainly the heaviest conditioned one. He's spongy to the touch, and we like to firm him up, clean him up over his ribs, elevate him through his front third, and lengthen him up just a bit. But certainly one that's really stout made, got a lot of product on him. We get into the sheep that rounds out the class. So again, a long-bodied, good rib view, one that gets a little easier in the top. She's not quite as nice in terms of her handle, in terms of her loin. She's stout enough made. She's good up through her front. She just doesn't have the touch and handle is what we see in the ones ahead of them. Congratulations to this class. Good job on all 5 exhibitors.
Class 17 medium moles. 5th place, Colson Owen, New Berlin 4-H. 4th place, Case Pearson, Kingsbury 4-H. 3rd place, Mallory Box, Clemens FFA. 2nd place, Peyton Cisak, Navarro FFA. And winning class 17, Abigail Owen, New Berlin 4-H. All right, we're about to have class 18 medium wolves enter the show ring. There are 5 entries in this class, 152 to 162 pounds. If the heavyweights for class 19 medium wolves will come to the staging area, class 19 medium wolves to the staging area. We've got this class and one more class of medium wolves. We'll do the breed champion and reserve breed champion, and then the grand drive overall. Others wanting to participate in showmanship need to be thinking about getting ready. There are going to be 3 divisions of showmanship. Be senior, grades 9 through 12, intermediate, grades 6th, 7th, and 8th, and junior showmanship will be grades 3, 4, and 5. We'll start with senior showman after the grand overall drive. do want to take just a moment to recognize some ring help we also have here today. We do have Montana White, Guadalupe County Fair Duchess, handing out ribbons and awards. Let's give her a big round of applause for helping today. And we also have Guadalupe County Extension Agent Savannah Harrington working in the ring as well. Savannah, thank you for helping.
Yeah, turn them around the other way. That way the crowd sees the sheep and not your rear end. It's a good dude to win the class here, and I'm gonna be picky on him because there's so many good things about him. He's just so big and dominant. He's so stout, made from the ground up. Boy, I tell you, he's good in his lines. He's just superior in terms of his rib, real powerful and stout. As he travels, he wants to get just a little bit down into his front. We got to make sure he keeps his head up as he travels because, again, he's not the longest fronted sheep in the class or that was ever made, but he's long enough. Want to maybe extend him through a little bit more, but in terms of length of body, in terms of the way he appears from side, his touch and handle, ain't no doubt he would use him to win the class. Young lady's got a nice one here. Again, a little bit more rib than maybe what we see in our class winner. Like to tighten him up right there just a bit, but certainly one in terms of his handle and touch. Really powerful. Not near as big a hip this ewe lamb as what we see in our class winner, but he's good enough in terms of his handle and touch. Little feller made one from the ground up. A little ornery one too. This lamb didn't want to set still, but a real firm handling, a little bit better down his top line. To me, again, not quite as powerful at his hip. A little bit different kind of made one, a little bit deeper through his forerib, a little bit deeper through the middle portion of his body cavity, but one that's got some muscle down his top line. And then we round out the class with a long-bodied, really elevated one. This is the one that wants to taper towards his tailhead just a bit more, a little bit rawer and a little bit rougher in that transition between the hip point, a little bit less powerful what we see than the ones ahead of him, but a nice competitive class. Outstanding class winner. Let's give these 5 kids a round of applause on a really good job here.
Class 18 medium wolves, 5th place, Callie Kurlick, Clemens FFA. 4th place, Caleb Kurlick, Clemens FFA. 3rd place, Calvin Owen, New Berlin 4-H. 2nd place, Ava Delgado, Clemens FFA. And 1st place, Will Schultz, Santa Clara 4-H. Right, we've got class 19 medium wolves. The last class of medium wolves coming into the ring. There are 4 entries in this class from 168 to 196 pounds.
run out our medium wool class with the big boy class, the heavies. I think the one that we use, is acceptable because he's more moderate. He's certainly a bit better in his handle and in his design. I think he's a bit better in terms of his structure. One that to me just gets out and moves just a bit better. He's really good in terms of his hip. I like him in terms of his pin placement. Yeah, he gets a little bold through that chest floor. Maybe he wants to get a little bit forward, but certainly one I think he's good enough in his handle and touch and his tone and condition for 166 or so pounds. A really nice one. 196-pound sheep again, big sheep, and I was surprised he's still really good in terms of his condition. For me, again, maybe not quite as nice in terms of design out his hip. He's the one that gets a bit more flex when he travels about the arena in terms of his hock placement to the ground. So I'd like to get him up on his toes just a bit more. To me, maybe downsize him just a little bit in terms of his overall size and frame. To me, again, I think he'd have just a bit more power in the middle and lower portion of his leg for a frame size that big. So we'd like to give him just a bit more depth of twist and stifle. We get down to the next couple here again, a little bit better design sheep at his hip. One that's got some freshness down his top. I wish he was just a little bit better in terms of his loin, but I think he's a little bit better in terms of his hip. When you compare him to our fourth place sheep, just a little shorter sided, one that wants to round out his hip a little bit, tapered towards his tail head, but certainly one that's got some product on that skeleton as well. Nice competitive class here, nice moderate sheep to win our heavyweight divisions. Congratulations.
Class 19 medium wools, fourth place, Clayton Kerlick, Clemens FFA. Third place, Courtney Fry, Steel FFA. Second place, Chloe Mays, Clemens FFA. And winning class 19 medium wools, Abigail Shear, Steel FFA. All right, we're going to bring back first and second place medium wools from class 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 to pick a medium wool breed champion and reserve breed champion. All right, breed champion and reserve breed champion of the other breeds, Southdowns, fine wools, fine wool crosses, need to come back to the staging area for the overall champion drive.
You want to announce our showmanship?
Once again on showmanship, once we get done with the overall grand and reserve grand drive, we'll start with senior showman, grades 9 through 12, intermediate showman, grades 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then junior showman, grades 3 through 5.
It's a really nice set of medium wool sheep. Again, just to recognize these 12 exhibitors out here for a really good job of winning at their classes or being second, moving up through the chain, and then getting into this champion drive. They've done an outstanding job. A really nice set, especially you talk about, for me, the ones that win their class. I think they fit the bill in terms of their design, their build. They're good in terms of their hip. They're natural in terms of their base width. They're good through their front third. I like them in terms of their blade and their shoulder. They travel and they don't change. I think that's extremely important. They're balanced, good in terms of the middle portion of their body cavity, but yet still really clean through their fore rib as well. A nice set here out of each and every one of them. To me, I think it gets down to really the couple that fit me the best in terms of their overall design. They're the long body, cool cat-looking ones that travel exceptionally well. Big topped as well. I think one's just a little bit further along in terms of his handle and design. He handles really, really good. He's just about one. I think the other one in the reserve role is got lots of good days ahead of him because this sheep is green and still has that freshness to touch and handle, and he's super powerful as well. An outstanding set. I hope you see him the way I see him because I like this, and I knew there'd be a lot of good ones here. I look forward to coming down here because you know you're going to get to see a lot of good ones. Again, let's recognize all these kids again for an outstanding medium wool drive. But you'll shake your champion, reserve champion's hands.
Right, champion medium wool comes from Class 18, Will Schultz, Santa Clara 4-H. Reserve champion comes from Class 17, Abigail Owen, New Berlin 4-H. All right, animals participating in the Grand Drive, breed champions and reserve breed champions should be in the staging area. Breed champions and reserve breed champions should be in the staging area. All right, Grand Champion Lamb Buckle is donated by the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo Ambassadors. We do have a couple ambassadors here today that are going to be presenting the buckle. Let's give them a round of applause for that donation.
Nice set of sheep out here, a really competitive group, and a really outstanding set of kids out here. Let's give all of these exhibitors, these 5 champions and reserves, a round of applause. Y'all fought a good fight today. Y'all met the challenge, and you moved into your class-winning roles and then your breed champion reserve roles, and I think you represent each of your breeds well. You know, not a big county show, but it's pretty deep. It's pretty good. The front end here is really nice. Was at Southdown. Boy, I tell you, he's built right. He travels right. He handles really great. The fine wool, again, probably not even close to where he's going to be because he handles good, but yet he's still a little bit green. Same way with the lightweight cross that we use for champion as well. Good design and up-fronted. That ewe-lamb for the hair champion, again, really outstanding body. Good travel, big hip. I like her about him. I like everything about her. Then you get into that 160-ish pound medium wool again, just stout-made and long-bodied and powerful as well. The ones in reserve role, maybe not quite as good in terms of what they brought to the table relative to their champions, but they were good enough in my mind to use them there because they've got a lot of good things about them in terms of their handle and touch. Again, I get down to a couple sheep for me relative to the way they handle, touch, and travel is going to be your Grand Reserve. I've used them before in the multiple species, and it doesn't matter to me. But again, I don't think you can get around these two today. Young man out of the medium wool, let's give him a round of applause. That's your champion. Congratulations to him. And the young lady is going to do the same thing and follow him as the reserve champion role. Congratulations to her.
Grand Champion Market Lamb goes to Will Schultz, Santa Clara 4-H. And reserve champion Market Lamb goes to Abigail Owen, New Berlin 4-H. Belt buckle donated by County Judge Kyle Kutcher and family. Right, we're waiting on one lamb to come back to the arena. I do want to tell participants that do receive a belt buckle, for you to take the buckle with you, you do have to fill out the thank you card before you leave. Please fill out the thank you card, and then you'll get to keep the buckle. As in tradition with the Lamb Show here at Guadalupe County, we always do pick a third overall Lindy Lyles Memorial Market Lamb. Judge is getting ready to pick that. We did have an issue with the belt buckle. I believe the showman that receives third overall will get a certificate and will be able to get the buckle later. Apologize for any inconvenience.
So to explain this a little more, the third overall can come out of anything in the championship drive, or basically going back, if the grand and reserve came out of the medium wools, the judge can pick any first place medium wool, or if it was a cross. So it's a third overall out of any of the deals. Avery Sack is your third overall.
All right, senior showmen need to be coming to the staging area. Anybody that would like to participate in senior showmanship, grades 9 through 12, should be in the staging area.
While we have a little break here, I'd like to thank Judge Kutcher for coming down and announcing. Sure keeps it entertaining while we have somebody keeping us going. The Lamb Committee, you see everybody walking around here with walkie-talkies and different deal. It takes a lot of effort to put a show like this on, and we're always looking for more volunteers. So if anybody would like to volunteer and be on the Lamb Committee, we have openings for associate members, and just contact one of us that's on the Lamb Committee, and we'd be glad to work with you.
Thank you, sir.
We have 2 minutes for seniors to get to the senior showmanship holding area. 2 minutes for the seniors to get there. We're starting with the seniors. If the intermediates and juniors want to come watch and listen to what the judge has to say, that's why we start with the seniors.
Right, first call for intermediate showman to the staging area. Intermediate showman to the staging area. That's grades 6 through 8.
Nice set of shows out here in our senior division. Let's recognize all of them with a round of applause. Good job. First, I commend you for coming back. I think it's important. I think you get more practice. Practice makes perfect. You're never going to be perfect, and you never know what's going to happen. And so you got to be able to adapt. You're not picked in any order. I saw a couple of you when I first pulled you to put you in the middle. Your shoulders sunk, and you're all like, "Oh man, it's over." It wasn't over. I just put you in the middle of the ring. I just wanted to see what you'd do. So don't stop. Right. Make sure that they said efficiency is extremely important. Don't get covered up. Using the arena, not cutting the corners, traveling with the right pace, all those things. Efficiency, you want to make sure the animal looks good, but you're not drawing attention to yourself. That's my viewpoint of showmanship. You've done an outstanding job. I think there's one or two or three or four that you could recognize. We've only got one award, one that's just a little bit more flawless relative to the showmanship in this class here. Is going to be your champion. Young lady, second from the beginning. Let's give her a round of applause. Good job.
Senior Showman goes to Avery Cisac, Navarro FFA. The belt buckle donated by Randall Herzog family. Right, Intermediate Showman. You should be in the staging area, about to come in the ring. Intermediate Showman. Junior Showman, grades 3 through 5. You should also be getting ready, but also watching Intermediate Showman. Please, exhibitors, remember, if you want to sell your project in the sale on Saturday, you do need to fill out your white card that you received when you were handed your ribbon, as well as take a photo with your animal. And if you were lucky enough to receive a belt buckle, you also need to fill out your thank you card and turn it in so you can take your buckle with you.
And I said, as intermediates here as well, very competitive. Again, each of you should be commended for coming back here. Congratulations, an outstanding set. Just like we talked about in the seniors, efficiency, ring awareness. You don't have to have the best animal, but you got to make sure that they look good, and you got to be efficient and make sure that they're presentable. Don't get covered up. Use the arena and travel with the proper gates. I think there's one. Actually, there's about 4 that we need to award, but they told me I only got 1. So, we take it to the fair board. Y'all can change that to where there's 4 next year or something like that. Anyway, I'm giving y'all a hard time. There's one that was just a little bit more efficient and fluid as compared to the others. But I think, again, we're splitting hairs here. But to me, it made an impression from the very beginning all the way to the very end. The animal worked with this individual. The individual never got frustrated if the animal didn't work, which he didn't. But again, outstanding job, really good set, good show, good lamb, good exhibitor. Congratulations, young lady, on the very beginning. Let's hear it. Give her a round of applause. Good job.
Intermediate showmanship winner is Peyton Cisac, Navarro FFA. Belt buckle donated by Cisac Sheep Company. Right, junior showman, grades 3 through 5 should be in the staging area. Junior showman, grades 3 through 5. All right, exhibitors, one last time. If you want to enter your project in the sale, please turn in your white sale card filled out to the office, as well as take a photo with your animal. Don't forget to take your picture and fill out your sale card. Just want to say thank you to all the volunteers that helped out today. Do want to thank one more time the Judge Eric Zimmerman for being our judge here at the Market Lamb Show this year. Thank you, Lamb Committee, all the help. Really do appreciate it. And parents, thank you so much for all that you do to get these exhibitors here to the show.
Let's give these 7 exhibitors a round of applause to wrap our show up with Market Lamb Division. Really good job. It's been a fun day. I appreciate the invitation to come back. Again, I truly enjoyed doing this. And, it's like I say a lot of times, this is way much better than work. And this is fun because everybody's here enjoying it, competitive. It's just like I told my 2 every time when they went in the ring, go have fun. And I think y'all all have done that. I've had fun. We've had some successes and maybe some failures, and that we learned from those things. That's how you be more and more competitive, and you get better and better and better. Write your goals down. I encourage you to do that. You're more likely to achieve those goals if you write them down. Can keep up the good work. Congratulations. We've got one reward for this division as well. I'm going to go and shake your champion's hand. I appreciate the invitation. It's been a fun day. Congratulations, everyone. That's your champion right there. Good job. Good job, man.
Junior Showman winner is Case Pearson, Kingsbury 4-H. Congratulations, Showmanship winners. Market Lamb exhibitors, that concludes our 2025 Lamb Show. And the buckle, the buckle for Junior Showman was donated by the Bobby Noisy family.